Well, hello and welcome to the Webb-Deane-Stevens Museum. I'm Joshua Torrance, the executive director. We are so disappointed that we are closing the museum early this holiday season due to the recent Omicron spike of COVID-19. But we wanted to make sure that all of you had the opportunity to see some of the incredible decorations that our extremely talented staff put up. Joining me today are Katie and Linda, and they're going to give you just a little sneak peek of a tour of all the wonderful decorations here at the Webb-Deane-Stevens Museum. We hope it brings a little bit more cheer to your holiday season.
Hi, welcome to the Silas Deane House. As you're looking around the room, you may be surprised that on our Christmas tour, we're starting in a room that doesn't have any decorations in it. Puritans in Connecticut did not celebrate Christmas the same way it was being celebrated in Europe. They did not believe that the big, over-the-top celebrations were the proper way to celebrate the birth of Christ. So they treated Christmas like any other day. If it was a regular day, they would go to work. They would work around the house. They did not have a huge celebration, hence the room without any decorations.
Hello, now we're in the dining room of the Stevens house, and the room is set for a celebratory dinner on Christmas Eve. I really enjoy showing this room to visitors because it contains so many foods that are very, very familiar to those of us who are planning celebrations today. People needed to eat seasonally at the time, even though today we can pick and choose from foods from all over the world. We're still selecting the same sorts of foods that represent fall and winter to us.
Now here at the Stevens house, dinner is over and we're about to walk into the parlor and see the surprises that await for Christmas. The candles have been lit on the tree, and as people walk in, they would ooh and ah of the beauty of it. Of course, candles are beautiful, but they also presented a danger, so we always kept a bucket of water nearby just in case. The decorations on the tree are handmade. There is food on the tree, such as cookies and nuts, and they would only cut the top part of the tree off, so we had a tree on top of a table.
Now, the preparations for the foods of Christmas, then as now, have been going on for weeks. And in front of me, I have the bowl in which the plum pudding would be made. Plum pudding needs to be prepared about 6 weeks before Christmas because it takes that long to cure. And all of the members of the family will come into the kitchen when the cook is ready, and they will give the plum pudding a stir, stirring clockwise. When the batter is ready, if the family happens to have some charms that make the biting into of your slice of plum pudding on Christmas dinner even more interesting, everyone will pick a charm and drop it in and stir it in. Then, depending on whether this is the cake sort of plum pudding or the pudding sort, the two are cooked in two different ways. The batter will be poured into the appropriate cooking dish. Other of the treats of Christmas include gingerbread men. It is said, I don't know how true it is, but it's said that it was Queen Victoria who had cutouts made, but then decided that it would be a lot more fun if they decorated the man shape with frosting. And one of my favorite elements is the recipe for coriander cookies, which were probably also made for Christmas.
Now we're upstairs in the children's bedroom in the Stevens house, and you'll notice that on the beds are their stockings. Children at this point would be leaving their own stockings on the bed for Santa Claus to come and fill. At the very end of the toe, you'll see a bulge which is made by an orange. An orange in the stocking was a very popular thing, a traditional thing to put in because children wouldn't necessarily have access to oranges.
And now, welcome to Webb House. We're standing in the historic Yorktown Parlor, which today is set up to represent a Christmas party for children in the 1950s. We have one of the special treats made only at Christmas in the form of ribbon candy. We have some poppers where the child can pull the string and the popper will pop and a toy or a treat will pop out. And we have this beautiful cake with the cherries on top. This is the time period in which Christmas becomes almost entirely child-centered. It follows the baby boom generation. In the 50s, they're starting to grow up. And now children are the center of Christmas. They're receiving lots of Christmas gifts instead of only one or two, and excitedly waiting a visit from Santa.
Now we're in the best parlor of the Webb house, and we have it all decorated because the parents are getting ready to have a Christmas party for all their adult friends to come. You'll notice that the tree is quite different than the one you saw in the Stevens house. It's no longer being illuminated by candles. We now have electric lights. The first electric lights on a public Christmas tree were put in place by Grover Cleveland in 1892. Also on the tree are shiny bright Christmas ornaments, which were the first ornaments made in the United States at the Corning Glass Factory in New York. And now we've come to the end of our tour and returned to the Silas Deane house. We are now talking about New Year's Day, because on New Year's Day, the gentlemen of the community would go from house to house. They would attend parties that the wives were holding, but then they would meet with people like Silas Deane to whom they owed a debt. Here Silas is meeting with one of the people who owes him money, and he is going to make a promise to Silas to repay that money. They will arrange how that's going to happen. Today, we make promises to ourselves. We make New Year's resolutions. So here's hoping all your New Year's resolutions will come true.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this very special holiday tour through the Webb-Deane-Stevens houses here at the Webb-Deane-Stevens Museum. We're sorry to be ending the season early, but we're so glad you tuned in and joined us for this special tour. We're also so thankful that you helped support us this year, an unusual year for all of us, but we made it thanks in large part to all the help and support that you gave us. So we can't wait to see you in 2022 and welcome you back into the museum and this beautiful new facility, the Holcomb Education Center. And until then, on behalf of all of us at the Webb-Deane-Stevens Museum, Happy Holidays!